Firstly, where I was coming from when we started thinking about using Scribe, initially I was actually quite skeptical because my baseline, and we're an EMIS practice for around 14,000 patients, my baseline was my EMIS setup was already quite good. So I was already felt I was quite efficient in terms of my documentation. So part of me was really skeptical in terms of like, why would I want to use Scribe or something else when I feel I'm fairly quick already using synonyms and protocols and those sorts of things on my keyboard being set up like that. But I thought I would obviously give it a whirl and see how it works and how it sort of changes my practice and see whether it actually improves my day-to-day working life. And it's been a resounding success from our point of view. You know, as I said, I started from what I thought was quite a high baseline, but using Scribe patient consultations now are just so much more patient-centered in terms of I'm actually communicating with the patient rather than thinking about which buttons to type, which letters to type at the time of the consultation, really focusing, looking at the patient, developing a much better rapport with the patients. So from that point of view, it's been fantastic. It's been a game changer because I'm looking at the screen a lot less. I think the other thing that was evident really quickly early on was the quality of the actual medical note keeping. As I said, I thought my note keeping was pretty good, especially as I was using sort of synonyms and protocols, just screen dumping certain phrases and text, which are almost gold standard. But the quality of the note keeping was above and beyond anything I thought it would be. Really good, really efficient. The way the notes are also separated out, because one of my fears was if patients present with multiple problems, which many GPs would recognise, the way the software is able to almost separate the problems out into different paragraphs is fantastic. So it literally allows me to copy and paste different problems into different sections into EMIS, again, making it really quick and efficient on a part of the consultation, which I thought would be very difficult for it to handle. The fact that it obviously codes with SNOMED, the observations like blood pressure and reading that is very helpful as well. I think one of the other aspects of it was the ease of use. The fact that the layout of it was very conducive to us sort of editing. The fact that each section has its own little microphone button, for example, the history, the examination, as Miles showed, you can really quickly and seamlessly almost add in to those different sections. The one-click copy is fantastic. And then the other thing then was not only the scribe aspect of it, but as Miles sort of demonstrated, the advice and guidance, the letters, because these are all the things that add on to the GP consultation length. The fact that with one or two clicks, you can provide the advice, to generate an advice and guidance letter, copy and paste that onto your tasks on email, send it off to your secretaries. You've got a referral letter there as well, if need be. You can just dictate into Tandem, which is great. For example, if I say, please put more emphasis on these symptoms because I want to have an advice and guidance to this particular specialist, it'll come up and regenerate the note within a few seconds. All these incremental gains add up to a much more efficient consultation, which I didn't believe. I was, as I said, I was skeptical at the start that this was going to happen. So from my point of view, it's been a real game changer. The other aspect of it was also I think I mentioned before, was the speech to text function, which comes alongside the scribe, where it's a smart speech to text. So I will easily send a dictated text message. For example, I've got a result saying patient needs to be started on flucloxacillin because their swab result was positive, and I'll do a quick speech to text saying, please can you start these antibiotics, or your swab result is showing a bacteria for Staph aureus. It's a copy and paste it into the text message function, send it via Accurx. And all of these things I find are really saving time in terms of typing it out or sending a note to the receptionist, or even, it's very difficult with GPs, and we're so busy having the headspace, not the temptation to click, just I will make an appointment, an appointment to make another appointment. So you can actually deal with a lot of sort of grey area things really quickly and efficiently, without saving the need for the patient to make another appointment, which I found was very, very helpful. You mentioned the app. So we're in quite a rural area, so we do quite a few home visits, and taking the app on the home visit has been extremely helpful. So normally I do 1 or 2 visits consecutively on a day, and being able to just go into the patient's house, switch the record function on, come out, sit in my car. I will quickly save it, make sure generate the note, go to the next visit, do that, come back to my desk, having it already typed up pretty much, good to go, straight into the EMIS is a game changer in terms of time saving. And I know you mentioned the new feature, which I haven't tried yet, which is the telephone voice. I mean, I use my usual sort of ITS digital telephone system. I put it on speaker, and even with that, it works fantastically well. You know, occasionally when the paramedic is on holiday, I draw the short straw and have to do these sort of care home ward rounds. And the first half of the ward round I like to do from my desktop PC, because a lot of it's administrative sort of queries. And I used it with Scribe, literally just loading each patient really quickly, having a 5-second chat about this medication, this, whatever the query is from the carer. I would pause it, go on to the next patient, start a new consultation, again, do the consultation. It would, again, before it was taking the patient details automatically into Scribe, I'd put the initials on, and I'd go through each patient really quickly, just stopping, starting a new consultation. And after I'm off the phone, I'd save each one, generate the note, and just 1 click, save it into the records. In terms of time saving, it was exponential for that half an hour. That would have taken me probably around 45, 50 minutes just to type up and document at the same time as the carer would be saying something simple like, oh, Dr. Patel, can we put the paracetamol onto repeat because the patient's using it quite frequently for the arthritis, onto the next one. Just typing that up and not having to do that has been a game changer from that sort of list type work. So yeah, I mean, as I said, all aspects of the Scribe itself, the document creation, the speech to text functioning, which is really helpful. I mean, when I check results now on EMIS, the first thing I have up, apart from the results itself, is speech to text. And I have that on because I almost treat it, and this is what I say to other doctors in the practice now, is I treat it like a house officer. I treat it like someone there in the room with me saying, please repeat the user needs in 2 weeks. The GFI has dropped down slightly. Please can you generate the blood test form on ICE, copy, practice note, off to the reception, who's depends on your setup, but it gives you an idea of how quick and easy it is then for these sort of for some of these sort of blood test results that require action. It just speeds it up at a rate of knots, really. So yeah, it's been a resounding success, and at the moment, I think there's loads of innovations coming through that are going to help it even further improve our GP's day-to-day life. I think the best thing I can say about it is that I can't honestly see myself ever going back to the synonyms and protocols and everything else that I used to do beforehand. And yeah, I know there was an issue in terms of, I guess one of the questions was, how do you roll it out? I guess the hardest part really is actually getting people to just start using it, because that's the thing. You just need to start using it. You can be skeptical like me. You've got plenty of doctors saying, oh, I'm quick, I can do this, that. Until you start using it, playing around with it, using the different functionalities, then if you can just start to use it, you will easily recognize the advantages and the speed and the efficiency. But not only that, most importantly, probably is the quality. That the quality is above and beyond what I would be able to type up and even screen dump with synonyms and different sort of protocols and texts and things. So